Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Will Chainsaw Man live up to the hype? Probably not. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Thursday Thermal Takes, the show where we crank to you the hottest of takes on the most chainsaw of Thursdays. Today we'll be talking about the new, the legendary, the amazing, highly anticipated, and highly rated Chainsaw Man anime. But first, before we get into all that, this is a special, super special Patreon winner video. That's right, somebody won this topic, a Thursday Thermal Take on Chainsaw Man. Congratulations to Scarred On Queen, as well as a shout out to her for being in the high tiered of my patrons. If you would like your chance to win a topic of a video of your choice, of mine, that I have to do, that I have to make, that I have to write and film and do all that, you don't get to choose the opinions, but you do get to choose the topic over on my Patreon. The $12 tier allows you to enter your idea into the monthly contest where we determine our ideas based on your ideas, and the winner ends up getting their idea made into a video. More information down below, and of course on the Patreon itself. You can also help my channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing to this video. Definitely hit the bell for notifications. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Chainsaw Man. It was a very simple title for a very simple anime. We hack and slash, we go and do things. We try to follow Denji, or whatever his name is, because I honestly don't remember the main character's name. We follow him into his little escapade of cutting demons into pieces and trying to obtain his goals. His goals are, of course, to touch titties, but when he actually gets to that goal, he actually does touch a woman's breast. He then goes on to, like, trying to touch women that, like, share his sentiments or feelings or that he cares about or something. It's weird how the show puts it, but essentially this. Main character, very strange because his whole shtick is that he can turn into a chainsaw. He just pulls this little ripcord on him. Chainsaws come out of his head. Chainsaws come out of his arms. He hacks and slashes demons to death and stuff like that in order to further himself in the pursuit of women. And this is a very interesting kind of show because the goalpost, the whole point of the series, we don't even really know. And that's kind of the thing that throws me off about Chainsaw Man, is that he literally, in episode 5, I've only watched 5 episodes of the anime, and this is part of why I needed to make this now. It's because I'm very shocked and sort of not quite completely sure how this anime is going to go. I'm a little bit lost as to sort of the path forward through the story and everything. It's just such a weird amalgamation of so many different types of odd sort of pitfalls in storytelling and all that kind of stuff that it actually works, but I'm just kind of unsure as to everything. And let me explain all of this. Thesis: Chainsaw Man is a little bit overhyped, really a lot overhyped. I don't think it's actually worth all the praise, at least not yet, and I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I've only seen 5 episodes of this anime. I've never read the manga. I'm spoiler free, but anyway, Chainsaw Man, a little bit overrated, has some story issues, and here are all of them. Number 1, the characters thus far, only one of them is kind of interesting, and I don't even know if that's the main character. I'd say that the main character is a little interesting. I'm very interested to see where things go with his character, but he's not like a great main character, and I'll amend that to say there are 2 good main characters. You have the girl Power, and she's kind of interesting because we don't really understand a lot of what's going to happen with her yet, but she's just kind of be one of those loopy, wacky, fun members of the team. Very interesting backstory, all that stuff. For all I know, those are the only good characters. And there were 5 episodes in, like half a season already, and I like Power okay. I like Denji or whatever his name is. I could be completely wrong and just completely misremembering his name, but I like Chainsaw Man okay. But his character, his whole desire is so juvenile because he just isn't used to things. He's a sympathetic character. I think sympathetic characters are very good, especially the main character. Just, I don't know that sympathetic character is the only character aspect he can have. I feel like Chainsaw Man is only a sympathy vessel, and this sympathy vessel doesn't really float or go in the wind that fast because all it is a sympathy vessel, and there's not a whole lot of other intrigue or anything to it. We feel bad for him because of his crappy life where he didn't know basic things like toast or any kind of quality of life. He didn't know what it was like to be with women or around women. He just knew that he wanted women. We do know that indeed he is the kind of dude who doesn't really understand how women work or how relationships work or how love works, and that's all very awful. When he turns into his Chainsaw Man form, it's very painful. He needs blood in order to do it. This is kind of like they the sympathy boat master. Giant sympathy ship. It's a sympathy yacht, maybe a sympathy battleship, a sympathy aircraft carrier. Who knows? This is just a sympathy character, and he's not necessarily all that interesting or funny. He's not really that necessarily all that quirky or outrageous. He actually acts like a normal member of society for the most part until he starts kind of being like fooled or persuaded or manipulated or something like that. But it just doesn't seem like Denji or whoever this Chainsaw Man is, because I can't remember the character's name to save my life. It seems like he's the kind of character that really only is a way to make ourselves very interested by being sad for him and by just being interested in what happens to the guy. Hopefully something good happens to him. We don't know. Something sort of good happens to him. He sort of meets one of his goals in episode 5, like I said, but it's not quite right. It brings me to my second point, of course, that Chainsaw Man is not exactly the kind of anime where you know what's really going on, because it seems like there's antagonists, maybe secret antagonists. I have some suspicions, and we don't really know what the point, what the goal, anything like. We don't know what the end point of the show is, the goal of it is. We don't really know anything. It was pretty easy with a different anime. Back in 2020, 2 years ago roughly to be exact, we had Jujutsu Kaisen, and that was a similar anime where it was gory and the dude like fought demons and stuff like that. And he ends up making it very clear that he's going to be the person who eats 20 fingers of the Sukuna dude and ends up becoming Sukuna, so that way they can bring him back and have Gojo kill it. And that was a pretty easy kind of goalpost. At the very least, that's what we think is going on in that story. New story, man just wants to fondle breasts and somewhat achieves that at some point, and he's very disappointed by it because it's not all it's cracked up to be, of course. And he just seems like a kind of pitiful character in a way. I mean, in many ways. I think Chainsaw Man is just a way for us to feel bad for characters. Feel bad the anime. I mean, it's not the worst anime. It's fairly well done. I think that the episodes are good. I think that every aspect of the cinematography and the animation and all the music and all that stuff, that's all excellent. It's just some story issues. And story issue number 3, possibly the least important, but also most shocking and bewildering aspect of the series. The plot has moved along, but it seems like we really haven't gotten much of anywhere as to how certain things work, or really how the world building aspects of this world work, because we're just seeing it through the Chainsaw Mans, and we really haven't gotten to know A, what all the sort of structures of power are in this world, B, who really controls anything, C, who even the strong people in this world are, not even just the controlling ones, but all the powers and the strength and everything like that. And then D, what are the plans for once everything ends? Once everything happens with the Chainsaw Man, do they just plan on getting rid of him? This is part of going back into, like, I'm not sure who really the villains are in this series yet. We know who some, like, monsters of the week are, but we don't really know any of the villains or anything like that yet. We're already 5 episodes in, and I feel like that the world building aspect kind of goes into the sort of anonymity of the plot. We don't really know where the plot's going. We don't know where most of these characters are going. For all I know, all the other characters introduced thus far, like the one character whose whole point thus far is just to get annoyed with Chainsaw Man and power, and I'm not completely sure of anything yet. It's strange how not sure of this anime I am yet, and we're already 5 episodes in. I would say it's at least like an 8 or 9 out of 10, but this is really speculative. I'm completely in the dark as to whether or not I'm going to like this anime. And really, for me, the only thing I can say about the quality, the actual overall quality, in my personal opinion, is that you should probably have an understanding of whether or not you like an anime several episodes in. We go by the 2-episode rule a lot in the anime community. Not that there really is a cohesive anime community or even a coherent, real stance on the 2-episode rule, but the 2-episode rule is as follows. After about 2 episodes of anime, you should generally be able to tell whether or not you're actually going to like the anime enough to want to continue watching it. You don't know maybe how much you're going to like it. Maybe you don't know how much the ending is going to be good, all that kind of stuff. You just are going to have an idea of whether or not this is something you'd actually want to watch. And for me, as good as Chainsaw Man is, it could be somewhat of a story that really gets lost on me. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my enjoyment of it. It could be like Dorohedoro, where the overall aspects of the show are so good, in the manga are so good, that you have people obsessed and really, really, really into Dorohedoro. And I think they're probably right. I just really don't feel like I've gotten it yet. To me, it's like I understand a lot of the plot points of Dorohedoro, but I don't really understand why I'm supposed to like it. And that's why about like 5 or 6 episodes in, I kind of put it on hold and I haven't really picked it back up. And I'm not going to do that with Chainsaw Man. I'm actually going to watch the whole thing. I mean, I think Chainsaw Man to me is a little bit better than Dorohedoro because a lot of the aspects are a lot more visually and auditorily stimulating. I like the show for a lot of different reasons and not just the story issues. But 5 episodes into an anime, we don't even know jack all about a story. Pretty much every anime has made itself very clear that I can think of as to what the point of the show is in the first 5 episodes. Even the long ones, like One Piece, I'm gonna be king of the pirates. That's literally the end goal of the whole series. Find the One Piece, become king of the pirates. You should have gotten that from the intro. Naruto wanted to become Hokage. You should have gotten that from the first couple episodes. I mean, you don't know what happens along the way, obviously, but you know kind of what the end goal is. With Bleach, maybe it takes a little bit longer, but you clearly figure out that Ichigo is just going to protect his friends. And that's the whole point of it. He's going to protect his family. He's going to protect his friends. He is the #1 guardian. That's the point of his name. Dragon Ball, collect all 7 balls. That one is actually a little bit odd because you don't really know what's going to happen because they do collect 7 balls pretty early on and Oolong wishes for a pair of underwear. They don't end up using the Dragon Balls again for a while. And so you kind of understand the general point of Dragon Ball. But with Chainsaw Man, I got no clue. I mean, I guess he's just supposed to find love. I'm not really sure whether or not that's really the end goal. And I'm just kind of a little ambiguous as to whether or not I like it because I'm completely in the dark about whether or not this is actually going to be good. Most of the characters we haven't gotten to know yet at all, even though they've been introduced. Really just the 2 main characters thus far, Chainsaw Man and Power. We really haven't gotten any real major plot points covered. We don't really even know what the end goal of the series is. We don't know anything about any of the powers that be, anything about who the people are. We just sort of have hints that there's, this dark shadow off to the side, or kind of like we have this organization that goes after people and does stuff, and I guess you're gonna kill demons with your chainsaws, and that's really all I got. But hey, maybe my takes are crap, maybe yours would be better. Tell me what you thought about this down in the comments. Definitely leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Hit the bell for notifications. See you next Thursday.